Okay, are we ready for Suicide Squad?
Oh, that was pro transition right there. That was good. I
I
like.
mean, I
Yes.
was going to transition when we were talking about the definition of funny, but
Yeah. We'll go.
Oh, Lord. Here
No,
we
it's
go.
okay. Here we
Here
go.
we go. I feel like that moment when you're at the top of the roller coaster and you're looking down and
And
you're
then
like,
it breaks. That was
yeah,
the Suicide
yep.
Squad movie for me. Good God. 2016 Suicide Squad brought to us by David Ayer, writer and director. Uh, Andrew, you want to give a real quick recap of what the Suicide Squad is before we go into the movie itself so that people know what we're talking
yeah.
about?
So I'm not a huge reader of Suicide Squad. I've read a couple of issues, but basically it is a squad of various villains, and it's been around since about the mid '90s, early to mid '90s. And the idea is these are villains who have been captured, and they're basically sent on suicide missions. And if they survive, then they'll get time knocked off their prison sentence, stuff like that. But basically, it's kind of like a Dirty Dozen for comic book villains.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dirty Dozen also. These are villains that are kind of villains, but not really villains. Like, we can kind of make them sympathetic, so you want to read about them, and people won't get up in arms about it. Or they nerf the villain to make him not as or her as bad as before.
Right.
And that's basically got this. The writer and director here is David Ayer. If you might not be familiar with some of his work, he's been a screenwriter for a while. He's done movies like U571, The Fast and Furious, Training Day, SWAT, uh, and Fury was his most recent one. That's kind of what got him this movie, Fury, the movie about the World War II tank crew, which is kind of like the same thing, a bunch of bad people fighting for a good cause. And basically the overall plot of this one is a character named Amanda Weller
Waller.
after seeing the events in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, wants to get together a team of very bad people to do some good, and she gets together a kind of list of who's of B and C level DC stars to go on a mission to save the world, sort of. And that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's as far as I want to
Yeah.
go.
Amanda Waller is also an integral part of the comics as well.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
always enjoyed the character, but
Should we throw in a spoiler alert real quick, guys? Just
no.
What is
Turn
there
back now.
No. What is there to spoil about these superhero movies? There's nothing to spoil.
I mean, we
Like,
haven't put a spoiler alert in a long time, so
No, it's just I'm tired of this spoiler alert crap. It's just what is there to spoil anymore? No one. M Night Shyamalan hasn't made a spoiler-worthy movie in 15, 20 years. Who cares? We're moving on. Anyway,
did
so
he make them in the first place?
I mean, he was the one who was famous for it, right? It was the whole movie was like, here's the M Night Shyamalan movie. Wait till the end because you had to wait 90 minutes to get to the end or 2 hours. Oh, that's what it means. Oh, it's just plants. That's fucking stupid. Oh, anyway, so I mean, the movie looks nice. It was kind of strange for Warner Brothers to give a big tentpole film to a fairly inexperienced director in making movies like this, but that's basically the way it's been over the last couple of years. Is you want to get a big director, or not? You don't want to get a big director. You want to get a director who you can kind of like control for these big tentpole movies. It worked with Jurassic World.
also
Yeah,
when
this one-
when you can pay less.
Yeah, and you can play with.
You can pay them
this
less,
one-
and then Zack Snyder was the executive producer, so I mean, he was very much in control of this, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the movie overall is just an absolute mess. It's written poorly, it's shot poorly, the story doesn't make much sense, the characters are almost incoherent, and there are parts of the movie where you can see it on their face, they can't believe they're saying the words they're saying. Special effects didn't look too bad, but overall it was one of these like pretty picture movies that after a while you just sit there and go, I don't get any of this anymore. None of this makes any sense. Yeah, there were some kind of shining moments. Margot Robbie was a really nice looking and well played Harley Quinn. Jared Leto's
Really? You thought so?
I thought she was fine. I like Margot Robbie. I thought she was pretty
I mean,
good.
I don't have an issue with her as an actress. I thought Harley Quinn was fucking useless and terrible.
I mean, look,
Oh,
the
I liked her.
character. No, I was talking about her performance. The character, I don't care for at all. I'm talking about like Jared Leto. He was an okay Joker, but now I think we've all come to the conclusion that that Joker is not a particularly hard character to play anymore. You just put on the makeup and do it. Will Smith.
See, I
was
disagree with that too, but
Oh no, I don't. It's just I'm tired of this character. And Will Smith was serviceable as Deadshot, and those were like the biggest you had. Everyone else was just kind of like Swedish and Australian, retreads. Let's put them in a movie because we can afford them. That was I just thought this movie was such a mess. It was beautiful.
What about you, Andrew?
I certainly agree it's a mess. Leto's Joker, I think he's the weakest actor to have played the part ever. Hands down.
Wait, is he the weakest actor, or like this is the weakest performance?
Yes, both.
I mean, that's not saying much to me. This is a big deal. I don't think any of the
Well,
Jokers.
you just don't like Joker. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
but that's your fucking personal problem.
That's your problem.
How's that my problem? I like the Joker.
That does sound like a problem.
No.
So
Just-
these two guys.
no, I mean, I think
again.
I think it's by far the weakest actor, weakest performance. Margot Robbie, I mean, her performance was okay. The character was terrible. There was absolutely no character development in Harley whatsoever. And in general,
development any of this.
very little. Yeah. Will Smith's, I had no problems with his performance, but I wasn't impressed by it. Captain Boomerang was creepy, and not like the interesting kind of creepy, like the candy and windowless van creepy.
Jock Courtney is ridiculous. He was Kyle Reese in the Terminator Genesis from last year.
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep putting this guy in movies. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've got. I actually had to when I left the theater, I walked out and actually no. During the credits, I turned my phone on and started typing a list of just my issues. I've never done that before. Just the issues I had with this film.
I wanted to take notes, and then I was like, I don't care enough about this movie to actually do that.
No, I mean, I've got a whole fucking litany of problems.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely had him.
That's where I have seen Flag before. He was the Democratic nominee or Republican nominee for president in the last season of House of Cards. I was looking at him like, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Why do I know that guy?
No, scroll down his credits, and you'll find that he's like some sort of action star who does these movies that all start with the same guy's name. I forgot what they are. They're really ridiculous. I forgot. I was like, what? He's like some Swedish actor. He's like did some
He is
famous
Swedish, yeah.
some famous European stuff. It is like, oh my god, just get a whole bunch of them.
So overall, I mean, I this goes back to my theory that your expectations going into the theater does have a big effect on how you perceive the movie. I walked in with the lowest possible expectations of this movie, and I walked out being like, I paid for a matinee, so I didn't really spend a whole lot of money.
I mean, I walked in with low expectations and was stunned that they didn't even meet those.
Yeah, I had low expectations, and it still sucked massive ass.
I don't know that it did that. It was fun. I'm never going to buy this movie. I'm never going to watch it again. But I didn't think it was all that horrible. I could see there was a moment, and I can pinpoint the exact moment, when it went from, okay, well, whatever, okay, this is kind of fun, to I have no idea what the hell is going on.
And that moment was right after the opening credits.
Yeah, it was exactly. It's like let's just run down all the characters and give them their own little sequence and explain who they are, because no one knows who these C-level crap characters are.
And a
then
theme song for each one, which is pop.
the top 40 shit that they pumped into this movie. I have not seen a shittier soundtrack and a more misplaced and miscued soundtrack since Watchmen. Holy crap!
This was worse than Watchmen.
This was worse than Watchmen, but I'm talking about the music cues in Watchmen's was awful, and I always hated it. This one was just as bad.
The Facebook rant that Zack Snyder went on after Deadpool came out about how studios are going to misread their cues with regard to Deadpool. I think that the pop infiltration of sound, especially superhero soundtracks lately, is due to a misunderstanding of the soundtrack to Guardians of the Galaxy. That they did this retro cool soundtrack with a lot of pop stuff from the 70s and 80s, and it worked really well. It was a brilliant soundtrack. And then I just keep hearing this music coming into
know.
all these other ones. In fact,
No,
they took one of
No.
the songs.
Yeah, I mean,
Your timeline's off. Your
yeah.
timeline's off. You got to go further back. You can make just mention Watchmen. That was 2009. But you can say the same thing about the Tarantino films because he actually had very good use of music, and a good use of soundtracks. And
But
everyone tried to
I'm
copy
drawing
him.
a direct parallel in superhero movies
Well,
specifically.
then Watchmen. Watchmen was it.
Yeah,
2000 it was
yeah,
Watchmen.
I have to agree with you on that one. I think Watchmen attempted that, didn't do it well, and that was Zack Snyder too.
Yeah, it was. I know.
Yeah.
That's,
So, well, no, I mean, Tracy. I don't think Tracy realized that. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
I saw Watchmen back when it first came out, and I had no idea what was going on screen. I should watch it again now that I actually know anything about comics.
I saw Suicide Squad over the weekend. I have no idea what the hell is going on the screen. Did you love it when Slipknot shows up and it's like, wait, he's gonna die. He didn't get an introduction.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was the biggest waste of flesh character I've seen in years.
I was like, what? This guy? I remember the dude in Jurassic Park 3 who looked cool in the sunglasses. It's this guy right here. He's gonna get chomped by the Spinosaurus in about 5 minutes. He's not even gonna get a line.
Yep, there it was. Yes.
And then it's like the Japanese girl jumps on. Oh yeah, here's this katana chick with a mask on. Her sword captures souls. She's my friend. What?
Yeah.
What? What?
I ran down the list of characters. I mean, this is so perfect. So out of this setup of characters, we have the leader, which is Deadshot, the troublemaker, the Australian Boomerang.
The flag.
No, out of the actual Suicide Squad. Like, he's the mean, manipulative guy. But out of like my list of characters, I've got the leader, the troublemaker, the hot chick, the silent mystery, that's Katana, an example, that's Slipknot, the Bruiser, which is what's the
Killer
lizard
Croc.
guys?
Killer Croc.
Killer Croc. God, what?
That was
Okay,
actually the
it
one
was
I
a
had. That was the one I had the least problem with.
And then the
Because he didn't do
reluctant
anything.
sacrifice.
Right. I think my biggest issue with Will Smith as Deadshot, it was just I don't care about
It was
Deadshot.
just Will Smith.
Well, no. I thought his performance was fine. It's just they wanted me to care about Deadshot because it was Will Smith. That's the only reason they want. Like, I don't care about
That's what I
Deadshot
was, yeah,
otherwise.
that's exactly
No,
what I was thinking.
They want the emotional hook for Deadshot was he's a dad. We're gonna call him a badass killer, psychopath, serial killer who collects credit cards, but he's also a really doting dad. So don't be so mad at him.
Well, no, but
He's
like that's kind of my point. Is it was like, hey, we're going to introduce this character, and here's a reason you're supposed to like him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Oh,
it.
yeah,
And he doesn't
absolutely.
feel. None of them felt like bad guys.
None of them
You
felt
guys
particularly
know-
likable either.
No,
You guys
no.
know my personal feelings on child actors, right? This one was the worst. Again, why do we keep casting kids? Let's just have them off screen. We'll understand that there's a situation.
What do you want to
where there's a
cast
kid.
midgets instead?
Yeah, I know. It's
No,
like,
I don't want
Tracy
kids
just
at
doesn't
all.
want children in movies. We're just gonna CGI in them and have them played by Regina
Exactly.
King.
Please, that would be perfect. I would be so happy.
That would
I
be
Like every-
hate child actors.
that would be
They're
creepy.
awful.
Yeah, every female character from now on will be CGI'd into the film and voiced by Regina King. And then we're just gonna move on from there.
nice.
Every female or every child? Because I'm not okay
Every
with
child.
female. Oh, child. Yeah, okay. I'm
ju-
good.
Yeah,
Every-
no, Regina King is does the voices for boys also.
No, you
Jesus.
just said every female character.
Oh, or child. I mean, either one. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Oh my god. We are coming back to that at a later date because that is crazy.
Well, no, I've already seen what dude thinks of all CGI charactered films. Avatar, the only movie he's ever walked out on.
Everyone ever walked out on. I did see BFG, and I was like, this is okay.
Yeah,
I was like, now I have to watch these movies, and I'm like, there's a child actor here. Tracy must hate it.
so hey,
Essentially, yes.
you want to know what you talked about? Having those moments where like your friend lets the entire theater know. I actually did that.
Yeah, I believe it. I did too.
There's the scene in the beginning of the movie. We see Enchantress, basically run off. Like they're in the subway, and he gives her the bomb to go plant, and then she runs off.
Right.
And then we see a flashback to that same scene, and get no extra information.
And
Nothing.
It's different.
It's literally it is from a different camera angle. That's it. And in the middle of the theater, I said, "Well, what the fuck was that?"
Oh no, I did that
In the
a couple
middle of the
times.
movie, the guy next
Yeah.
to me just looks and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, I'm watching this, and like most of my confusion came from all the Deadshot stuff because it was just the randomness of like his motivation made no sense.
Well,
He's
and
sitting-
it changed on on a dime. I mean, it just
The-
90-degree
best-
turns.
The best and probably the worst moment of that entire film was the sequence where they're in the hotel bar. That
Yeah.
None of that made any sense. I couldn't believe that they were uttering the words they were. And there's
And
this
that's where
part
I
where
believe it took the hard turn.
Oh
Right
no,
there.
it was already done by that point. All the shit with Harley and Joker was already ridiculous by that point. But then it was like, oh, your daughter writes you every day. Oh, you had these letters from my daughter. I'm gonna help you finish your mission.
I
I-
know
I
that was
went,
so weird.
What? I was like,
Yes.
How did we get there? How, Huh?
The other great moment is when he smashes his cell phone and says, "You're all free to go." All
should've
of these prisoners
should've
that were
just killed them
so
right there.
dangerous, they were in a hole, and they threw away the hole.
what?
That
This,
line,
this,
oh my
this
god!
is this
Line
is
was
definitely one of those times where like how it should have ended. It's just him hitting the phone, pop, 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 pop on the.
Everyone just died.
We're done. We're done
Yep.
here. It's all over. Oh my gosh! And
was
and
like,
also, can I just point out that if she wrote him every day, why were there 4 letters?
Yeah, just a handful. How long is he?
Here you
I
go.
guess he wasn't in jail that long.
I guess.
I guess he really wasn't. I love how she's like, go kill Harley Quinn. Okay, she's dead. Oh, I missed. What?
What?
Why? You don't even like this bitch.
It
She
made no
doesn't
sense.
do anything. She literally didn't do anything.
She's just the hot chick in the squad.
No,
I
she's
explained that.
there because again, we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later. But 46%, at least according to Hollywood Reporter, 46% of the film's audience on Friday were females. That was the only reason why people were coming to see this. Is they're just shoving in fan service. You know, Will Smith, we gotta get black folks to see the movie. We got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. We gotta get girls to see the movie. We're gonna load it up with hot chicks. Boys are gonna see this movie, and we're gonna make money.
I mean, they are making money.
Oh, they
They
are making
are.
money.
So according to Box Office Mojo, the current projected weekend numbers is 135 million.
Yeah, on 4,200 screens.
What was you told us this earlier? I think you sent me a message, Andrew, that said how much do they need to break even? It's a lot. It's like 750 million?
Yeah. Oh crap! What was it?
Okay,
I don't have the article anymore. I have to go find it. But yeah, there. So with advertising and all that nonsense, the
Yeah.
break even point for international gross was like 750 to 800 million.
That sounds a little high. I mean, for a 175 million budgeted film, that would mean that they spent something like 200 million, 300 million just on distribution and marketing.
That wouldn't surprise me. They have been just hosing down.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, they have. I mean, the marketing campaign was brilliant, but $300 million. I mean,
I also
don't
feel like
know.
175 is lowballing the budget, especially with the amount of reshoots and everything they did. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind too. There are basically 2 versions of this film, like very different versions of this film. One was what the director, basically the way he wanted it edited, and then after Batman vs Superman came out, the studio went back and re-edited the entire film. So you and I both have issues with about the first 20 minutes, dude, of the film, where it was an info dump, background stories that were just poorly done. That was all done by the studio.
Yeah, but see, Ayer is still the sole credited writer. So there's a rule of depending on how much you worked on the script means, whoops, that's loud. It means how much you worked on the script depends on what you're credited or how you get credited.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
in this case, he's still there's Writers Guild of America rules on that. So he still is credited as the sole writer on this. So I put a lot of this, especially just some of the shit lines.
No.
in this.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. But what I'm saying is, I think that's why I'm saying I think the 175 is a pretty soft number. Is
Maybe.
they went back
We're
and reshot and re-edited a lot of this movie.
I mean, we'll have to find out later. But good God, this was I mean, 135 million is pretty good. They're
Yeah.
gonna go. They released it, I think, the same time worldwide. But the one thing I know that's gonna hurt them is they are not in the Chinese market. They never got. They made
Oh.
this a PG-13 so they could pass the censors in China, and you have to schedule way ahead of time. So you see, like, the Chinese Film Bureau, whatever the hell it is. passes films, like has a 2-month schedule, and Suicide Squad's not on the Chinese market schedule.
Yeah.
So
And
that's going to hurt them.
The other thing is, we're talking, it's 135 million for the weekend. It dropped between Friday and Saturday, dropped 40.5%, 40.6%.
Well, the reviews have been terrible.
And then dropped an additional 20% to Sunday. And again, these are estimates, but
Yeah, they're all estimates. Yeah, this is this is just bad. I don't know. Warner Brothers is going to try really, really hard to make this work, but I mean,
I think their saving grace
don't-
is going to end up being Wonder Woman. But
maybe I don't know what much more we could say about this movie other than it was crap. I mean, it just on almost every level it was terrible. There were some minor moments in there that you could extract some level of joy from, but for the most part it was stupid.
yeah, I mean, there were little things as a fan I enjoyed. The introduction, when they introduced Harley, the fact that she was like doing the gymnast thing in the...
Yes, that was a cool moment.
Well, and that's just something, it kind of gets dropped, is the character is also a gymnast.
Yeah, I don't know why people emphasize that so much. I guess.
Well, it
Yes, that's
explained a
true.
lot of her duck and rolls and a lot of
I don't
the way
know.
that
I'm not even looking for explanation. I just thought that was a nice little, oh, hey, here's a little bit of something that if you know the character, then, it's a little Easter egg. If not, then who cares?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. In fact, I had actually forgotten about that until I saw that. And I was like, oh yeah.
I
Margot,
meant this.
Margot Robbie's accent made me want to vomit, but
I remember mentioning this, like, how is Harley Quinn able to like fight like this? And a Harley fan was like, well, she's a gymnast. I'm like, that doesn't answer my question. She can't. You're a gymnast. That doesn't mean you know how to fight. That I don't get why fans make a big deal out of that, or certain fans make a big deal.
yeah, I
Same
mean,
thing-
I've never
same
seen that
thing
as a big thing fans have.
When I went to that Harley Quinn panel at Phoenix, it came up a couple times, and I was like, "What is this a big deal that she's a gymnast?" I don't get it. I thought she was.
They
sick
could've-
on it.
I
Well,
think that they could have really sliced this cast and saved themselves a lot of money. There were several characters that just didn't need to be here.
Well, I mean, they weren't on screen long enough to really get much of a paycheck, I'm sure.
No.
Well, even just like Katana, we didn't even need her character at all. She just was there silently. And then
We didn't need her. We didn't need Captain Boomerang, which is a shame because Captain Boomerang can actually be kind of fun.
can he? You couldn't tell from this movie. You're right. He was absolutely creepy, and it just, I have to say that I really liked the end reveal of Diablo. I thought that was really cool because I know nothing about the character in the comics or anything like that. So for him to sort of kind of hold back, you had that one moment when they're in the sort of the big glass building and he lights all these guys on fire and you think, oh, okay, so that's the character. All right, cool. And again, I know nothing about this from the comics. So then you get to the end and he does this full reveal of himself as this Mexican fire god or whatever the hell, like super powerful. I thought that was cool. He looked awesome.
Yeah, no. I didn't
And
look
then
like
he
a
just nerfed
flaming
really quick.
Yeah, he looked like a flaming Montezuma to take on the common monster, or the monster T as it's
Yeah,
credited.
but he
It's
looked
like,
good.
what?
It looked cool. The only dumb thing is that he then stuck his hand in the guy's chest and then his fire went out. I guess the guy like burped up his fire and then he was done. I don't know. That was.
What
It's
was
just
that?
they had these moments that they could have capitalized on and then it just turned to shit.
I thought it was so funny. I'm like, I went into the movie asking so many people, like, who's the bad guy in this movie? Like,
Yeah.
who's it supposed to be? And then it's like, oh, it's Enchantress. Okay. I was like so underwhelmed when that turned out to be the case. And then she turns into like Blue Enchantress, and then she has some of the dumbest lines in the movie. It's awful.
She
Like,
was I liked
she's
her
like-
the least.
and she has like the goofy face, like the goofy voice. She's like,
Flailing.
yeah, and she's got the wiggly things. Like, you're going to tell
The
me
wiggly
how
thing
to
was
defeat
so
your
stupid.
armies. It's like, what? I thought you're just beat them. You're a fucking superpower monster. What do you need to? What? Why do you need?
I
that?
love that she came down and she fought them hand to hand. That was the
okay.
biggest what the fuck moment where I was just like, she's literally making a machine with her mind. Why is she fighting them hand to
I
hand?
like the part where like Harley like pretends to give up, and she's like, "Oh, there's just one problem. You messed with my friends." It's like, you don't even like these people. You've known them exactly 6 hours.
Good point.
It's like,
Well, I
what?
mean, because Diablo called them family, and so then they were a team.
Am I the only
was the
one?
moment.
Am I the only one who is scratching their head where like the entire plot of the movie is, hey, we're gonna go save this person who turns out to be Amanda Waller from the building. We're not gonna go
Right.
bother with the crazy shit that's going on over in the corner.
At least that made sense from that character's perspective, where she's like, "Oh, shit's going down. Y'all need to get me the fuck out."
No. Like, it made sense from her perspective, but at the same time, I'm going, didn't you guys like make the squad to deal with the crazy shit, and then the crazy shit happens?
Because of her own negligence
Well, no,
by
well,
keeping that fucking statue in her house.
Well,
what the fuck?
I mean, that's a whatever, but at this point, it's like no. I'm not going to send the squad off to do what I designed them to. They need to come get my ass.
Yeah, I do like the part where that was probably the only part of the movie I enjoyed was when Waller kills her entire staff. And I mean,
Oh, right.
I enjoyed it.
It
It
was
was
above their
shot
pay grade.
so poorly because it
Yes.
just kind of happens at this weird angle. There's no emotional impact, but she just kills it. I'm like, all right. And she's like, they weren't cleared to see this. And like the best part is Will Smith goes, okay, that was gangsta. Like I thought that was kind of funny. That was like the one moment
Yeah.
where I was like, at least
funny.
Waller really embraces being a bad guy. Everyone else is just kind of a pussy.
I mean, I like the character of Waller in general.
I did too.
In the comics, she's one of the few people who like can get aggressive enough and just kind of in his face. She makes Batman step back, like actually like stand down.
I'm sure.
What
yeah,
do you guys
someone-
think of the casting of Viola Davis for her?
I mean, she's fine.
Yeah, it didn't
I mean,
bother me.
she's fine. I mean, the character. I mean, you write the characters like this to be cool, like that whole Batman thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make this character cooler than Batman. Look at this, I'm gonna make Batman back down. Where it's like,
Well, no,
anyone who else was writing Batman would just smack her in the fucking face.
well,
Just
no,
smack-
that's not like that goes back to the comics. That's not a movie thing.
No, I know it's a comics though. Just smack her in the face. It's really not that hard. Just smack her. And like, I love how Deadshot would like take his helmet on and put it off, take it on, put it off, take it off, put it off, and like. But why? He doesn't do anything. He's like, I don't like putting this on because when I do, people get killed. Motherfucker, that's your job. Don't start getting fucking sentimental on me right now. Also, if you've got the crosshair shit on your eye, why are you using your other
The
eye
sight.
to shoot the guy? What is? There's so much problems with this. I don't like putting the helmet. He puts the helmet on, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot a bunch of stuff. Then he just takes it right off. It doesn't even look like a helmet. It just looks like some sort of rubber shit you get from Party City. It doesn't
does.
do anything.
It's true.
This movie was so bad it was beautiful. It really was. I was
I
like, some of
had
the stuff-
fun. I had a good time. I did the occasional, I occasionally shot air very strongly out of my nose at a couple of scenes, and I don't know. I walked out. I walked out expecting to hate the fact that I paid money to see it, and I didn't. I was glad that I went. So.
I'm actually happier that I paid money to see Jason Bourne and saw this instead.
Oh wait, is
Because
Jason Bourne out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
like I
should go
couldn't.
see
I was
that.
trying to get tickets for it Friday, and the line was really long, and the automatic ticketing machine was not letting me buy Suicide Squad. So I just bought tickets for Jason Bourne that started 15 minutes later, and we just walked into the Suicide Squad theater.
Nice.
So I actually didn't give this movie any money. Jason Bourne got an extra $40.
Yikes. That's why I love matinees. And
Did you-
also my student ID, which does not have an expiration date on it. So.
Yeah. Every time I see Matt Damon, I want to be the guy in the theater to go, my God, that's Jason Bourne. Every movie he's in. I just want to do that.
Did
for
you
now.
see the preview for The Wall? What previews were on your guys'?
Oh yeah, what the? So we've posted about the Great Wall on the Facebook page, and my girlfriend's
Yeah.
like, "What is this?" It's Matt Damon fighting Chinese dragons on the Great Wall of China. It's
I didn't know there were
160 million.
dragons involved. That looked cool.
I was like, "This is gonna be so." Yeah, Andy Lau is in it. The
Part-
dude who
part-
played the Red Viper.
I was just waiting. I'm
Oh.
like, man, if people were bitching about whitewashing before,
Well, no, this one is like a combine. I guess it's okay because like they combined it. It's like the Chinese are like, we're gonna get our dudes, and you get one of your famous dudes, one guy that used to be famous, and another dude who's just kind of famous for being a useless character in Game of Thrones who got his head popped off. And then we'll put them in a movie together, and we'll make millions. That's really what it is.
I
don't
hope
think-
they do make
think
millions.
other-
That sounds
I'm
like
trying
a
to think-
solid business plan.
what are the trailers? Wonder Woman.
I didn't
Doctor
get one.
Strange,
Yeah,
I got
Doctor
you.
Strange.
which
Which,
look cool. Still, I don't care what you say, dude. I think that movie's gonna be awesome.
Benedict Cumberbatch doing his best house voice. I don't know about chakras. Study and practice. That's how I did it.
So, dude thinks that it's Dr. House in Inception, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I didn't hear the house thing at all, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah,
You can have your
yeah.
delusions.
No, listen to it really carefully, especially in the teaser. It's not as bad as in some of the later trailers, but in the teaser, it's I don't believe in chakras or energy or chi or anything like that, and he really sounds like Dr. House. Bad. What else? I'm trying to remember. There's a couple of them that. Oh, Sausage Party, which I'm into seeing. That looks pretty cool. And The Edge of 17. We saw that. We saw the Green Band trailer for Edge of 17.
I saw the new James Franco comedy.
Oh, with Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
That looked dumb.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a Christmas movie. They're all stupid. We can't.
I hate Christmas movies.
They're
Christmas
awful.
movies
I hate
and
James
February
Franco,
14th
so-
ones. Yes,
Huh?
James
I
Franco.
said I hate James Franco, so that works out for me.
He's such a skis ball. Ugh. I hate Christmas movies and I hate Valentine's Day movies. Why do we have to have a Valentine's Day movie every year?
What
Stupid.
other movies?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
else.
nothing particularly memorable.
No, certainly not. I didn't even get the Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I still want to know who Wonder Woman is gonna fight. It's just the Germans. Like, what kind of villain is that? She's just gonna kill all of them.
So, as an interesting side note, I watched the extended version of Batman vs Superman last night with some coworkers, which actually solved a lot of my issues with the plot. I still think Jesse Eisenberg is shit, but that's fine. But when they find the picture of Wonder Woman, like from World War I in there, that Chris Pine is in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that's a little bit of nice planning there. We'll have to go back and fix that picture or something,
Oh, I think they've been filming this for a while.
No, I didn't realize that I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That is smart. They don't have to retcon it later.
Well, it provides a nice consistency for the series.
Well, I guess they'll take whatever they can.
I think it'll be good. I don't think it's gonna be a terrible movie. Plus, I mean, Gal Gadot is amazing. So.
Yeah, Gadot is beautiful. She looks like Wonder Woman. She's like,
Yeah, she does.
that's Wonder Woman. I was like, when I saw the first picture of her, I was like, yep, that's Wonder Woman right there.
Nice.
No ambiguity. All right. That's all I got. I'm done. I don't know how much more of this movie I can complain about.
I mean, the answer is probably a lot because you like the sound of your own voice. So.
Oh yeah, especially because I turn my headset off so I don't hear it. It's just me talking.
I mean,
That
I could tell you
explains
guys
a
about all
lot.
the little details that I caught that you don't ever like
No.
think about. For instance, the Pentagon
Ah,
model is so shitty. It's true though.
I love it how Tracy can catch like little details, but entire plots just go right by her. She's like, I didn't know that was Beast's plane, but Jennifer Lawrence's hair extensions. Did you see them? They were like off-white on one, and then they were kind of yellowish. But that wasn't his plane. What do you tell? What they were? Oh, there was only one plane. No, there were two planes.
It's true. I am much better at reading things, which is why our comic conversations always go so much more smoothly.
What?
Yeah, like define smoothly.
Well, there's less of this for sure. Come on.
You mean the dead air, the staring?
The
But what-
confused looks, the
what is
scratching of the
wrong with
heads,
you?
you know.
Yeah, this movie is so bad. It's gonna have a terrible drop off next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be
What
curious
comes
to
out
see.
next weekend, actually?
Actually, let me just look that up right now. I had it a second ago, and I
2
lost it.
hours of a flaming dog turd. Like that. That's what comes out next week. It's just. You know,
And
like
it's still gonna beat it out.
people buy those like Yule log DVDs. It's just a like video of a fire. That's what this is, except burning
It's gonna
poop.
be August 12th. There's gonna be Sausage Party, Peach Dragons, Florence Foster Jenkins, Hell or High Water, and Bloodfather. Just those probably. So really, the only big one that's gonna come out is probably Peach Dragon.
Yeah.
And Sasha's Party is going to be a kind of one of those R-rated raunch animated comedies. That'll probably Florence Foster Jenkins. That's another Meryl Streep movie that no one cares about. Hell or High Water is coming from the guy who gave us Sicario. I like Sicario, so that might be worth something watching. Bloodfather is probably a movie no one's going to watch because Mel Gibson's in it.
Oh,
Arthur-
you know, a trailer I've gotten the last couple times is Magnificent Seven.
Oh,
Really?
okay,
I
yeah.
haven't gotten that yet.
I've gotten that twice
Okay.
now.
Hey,
And
there's
then-
a Final Fantasy movie coming out. I didn't know that. Kingsglaive.
And then was it Arthropoid? That's coming out. I actually want to see that, about killing the one of the Nazi high commands in Prague or Budapest, I think it was.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see War Dogs, obviously. Pacus and Diveroli. I'll send you guys Actually, I'll throw this in the show notes too. There's a fantastic Rolling Stones article that is so hilarious because you read it and you're like, no.
Nothing beats the Rolling Stone review of Fantastic Four.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look at that.
Oh my god! I'll send it to you guys. We'll put it in the show notes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, War Dogs looks okay. Ben-Hur looks ridiculous. It's one of those like, why are we making...
I know. We saw the poster on the way out, and Kurt pointed to it, and we're like, we're gonna go see that. I was like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not spending money on that shit. I have the 40th anniversary of the
1959, I believe.
Yeah, 9-1. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love that thing.